happening, guys? Just trying to get the microphone up to speed here. So I was talking with a coaching client of mine earlier today, and we were talking mainly about all the changes that are involved when they're going through the waves method. It's what we talk about in the book. It's something that everybody starts out on that same journey when they hire me as their private coach. So what the waves method is your why, authenticity, values, exploration, and your statement. And there's a lot behind those 5 things that we'll get into later. But today we were really just talking about elasticity, I guess, is the word of change. And I liken it to, you never go to the gym and you do one workout and, oh my God, I have this amazing body for the rest of my life. It's something that requires work day in, day out, day in, day out. And we're really reprogramming the way that we operate in the world when we use this method in order to build that courage to implement massive changes in our life. And what you'll find as you start to go through the program is you'll want to go back to the way things were. So think about any principle in physics, right? It's a rubber band. It always wants to go back to its original shape. And when we make changes like this in our life, we're no different. I liken it to this. When I was younger, I used to play the piano. I taught myself to read music, taught myself to play the piano. Got pretty proficient. And in 8th grade, the music director invited me to play for our 8th grade graduation, long time ago. And bonus points if you know what song I played. So at any rate, after that, we didn't grow up with a lot of money, and my parents offered to finally buy a piano for the house. And we bought this spinet piano, which are incredibly cheap because nobody wants one. And it was out of tune. And the man came, tuned up the piano, sounded amazing. And he was leaving and he said, well, we'll see you next week. And I'm like, what? Next week? Why is he coming back? Well, the piano had been out of tune for so long that as he stretched and stretched and stretched the piano strings to be the right way, they wanted to go back to their original shape. So he has to come back the next week, tighten them a little bit again. Less, but he still has to tighten them. Comes back the next week, even less. And then eventually comes back once a month. Then he's coming back once a year. And you find that over time, strings will hold their shape. We're no different. As we try to change the operating system of our life, we're exactly like those piano strings. The elasticity of how we've been for 30, 40, 50, 70, 80 years is stuck in there. It's not going anywhere. And so when we make these shifts in order to take action in our lives and make these changes, it doesn't just happen in a day. It's not the one-time workout for the awesome lifelong body. It requires work every single day. It starts the minute you decide to make the change. So the day one, okay, I'm going to do this thing. You've got to sit down, set a goal, put it on paper, do something towards its implementation that day, that minute, as soon as you set the goal, something, anything towards its implementation. And then day by day, you do things to reinforce that. And eventually, just like the piano strings, it'll start to take hold in your life, and that'll just be the way you operate moving forward. You won't have to think about it anymore. And that's what we're after here. That's what we're after here with change. That's what the waves method develops, is those muscles, that muscle memory. It builds that piano string to be in tune all the time so that you can make those changes in your life in an instant.